Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the rightleftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. GMA's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins. Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 60. I'm Connor Murphy here with Grace Matthews. How you doing, Grace?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You know, getting by. Kind of see the sun today, which is great because we haven't seen the sun in like a week.
That's nice because January makes it tough.
Yeah. Tough on you guys.
It's hard.
We're making you live like Canadians this year.
You sure are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. It's freezing, and I got my utility bill yesterday, and it's bad news in January.
Yeah. Well, we tend to use something called insulation in our houses here.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
Actually, there's not a lot of insulation out here on the West Coast compared to the rest of Canada because we put up with maybe minus 10 if we're lucky. They're like minus 40 constantly. So
Yeah, that's a bit crazy. I'm also a bit wimpy myself.
Well, I think we all are, especially when we're spoiled living in a bit warmer climate than that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what do we got for today?
Well, we're gonna talk about an article that appeared in the Mirror.
Okay.
And it's the psychic who foresaw Trump's win.
All right.
And he reveals his predictions for 2018. His name is Craig Hamilton Parker. Some of his environmental and other predictions are very interesting.
Okay.
So we're going to make note of it and see how it all goes. In fact, he did also predict the terror attack in Nice.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, we predict the Oprah thing that was happening like 6 months ago.
Oh, I know. I know. It's on our site. We both wrote articles about that.
Yeah.
You actually had her running for president, and I wrote about why Megyn Kelly couldn't be her.
Right. But,
and the reason, Megyn Kelly can't be her is the same reason why she shouldn't run for president. So that's just a taste of what we're going to have on Friday's show. Awesome. Little teaser.
Awesome. Sorry, I kind of digressed a little bit on the Oprah thing, but I thought it was kind of funny. Had to mention it.
I'm glad you did. Okay. Environmental predictions are first.
Okay.
Remember Mount Vesuvius?
Yes, who can forget?
I could not forget that either because I took Latin in high school and all the stories were surrounded around Pompeii.
Right.
So Mount Vesuvius in Italy will erupt and Naples will have to be evacuated.
Wow.
That's big stuff. Yeah. There will be an increase in seismic activity across the globe. And it says also that in places that have been tremor free for thousands of years. There'll be a very serious earthquake in New Zealand.
Well, they have a serious one almost every year in New Zealand.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a big prediction, really.
Yeah.
It says the southern seas will be impassable in places due to a massive ice shelf breaking off from Antarctica. Again, that's not that unusual in the past few years. And as far as the global warming people suggest, it's quite common.
Right.
There will be wildfires in California, that's already started, and Australia, as well as flooding in India and China. And today there is tremendous flooding in California.
Right.
Landslides have taken the lives of at least 13 people.
There's nothing new in that prediction, though. I mean, wildfires in California happen every year. It could be a season in California.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway there is Mount Vesuvius. And record hurricane year, we're kind of due for record hurricanes in the Caribbean.
Right.
I mean, that kind of cycles, Although we had the 3 bad hurricanes here this year, we had really had a calm for about 10, 12 years.
Interesting.
So, and when you have a calm, then you have 2 or 3 bad years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's probably right about that.
Interesting.
Okay, world conflict and terror predictions. A trade embargo with North Korea will fail, which that's happening right now, and the U.S. will strike at railway line and bridge to disrupt imports.
Wow. Okay.
Which is a good idea because they have to have that railway. And if you'll remember, over the holiday, we learned that China is still selling goods to North Korea.
Right.
And in fact, today, because we no telling what we said to China or what we threatened of China, today, China has decided to quit buying as much of our debt. That drove the interest rates up and the market down a little bit. I have mixed emotions about that because that's also something they do anyway when our economy's good.
All right.
So that may or may not be tied to North Korea. Who knows? Kim Jong-un will be deposed by his own people, and he will go missing, with some claiming he is living secretly a new life in China.
I never even crossed my mind before that would happen.
And normally it wouldn't. If he could at least keep them fed and not sick. He's not doing that.
Or stop killing his top brass.
Well, exactly. But you're seeing a lot of soldiers defect in that DMZ zone between North Korea and South Korea. I think this is somewhat plausible, and I hope this guy's right.
Yeah, it's something I've never thought of before, and because all of his people think he's almost like a god, but the ones closer to him probably realize he's not anything near a god.
And that's kind of what they thought 2 or 3 years ago. But as things deteriorate, I don't know that they think that so much now. And we do not have good intelligence in North Korea.
Right.
In fact, Obama pulled out a lot of intelligence.
Go figure.
So we really wouldn't know. That's kind of how we had the wool pulled over our eyes in a lot of these situations.
Right.
A world flu epidemic. Now, remember, they're already saying that they got the flu shot wrong, but it could possibly be linked to biological warfare started by North Korea or another terrorist group. Now, that would be interesting if they released something into the atmosphere and we mistakenly thought it was the flu. Interesting thought.
Yeah, I never thought of that. And I know he does have some sort of chemical weapons because he killed his half-brother or had him assassinated.
Well, yeah, and they suggested he was putting it on the end of his missiles. Anthrax.
Wow.
That came out a couple of weeks ago. This is interesting, and I believe this will happen because it's the art of the deal. Japan will pay to hire American missile defense services. I believe Trump would make that kind of deal.
I think you're possibly right there for sure. I can see that happening.
And it would be a smart deal for us and Japan. The Ukraine will be accused of illegal sale of missiles and nuclear technology. Who would they be selling it to? NOCO? North Korea?
Yeah, I don't. Iran? No.
Maybe Iran. Okay, here's one of our favorite subjects. A massive Bitcoin fraud will be uncovered. That's what I think is going to happen. And thwarted. The funds would be for terrorism and war. A well-known American company will be involved in the scandal.
Wow.
What American company? I don't know.
Infusion GPS.
That would be that's a very good answer. It really is. Infusion GPS is just getting crazier.
Yeah.
Okay, terrorists will make an airborne chemical weapon gas attack by multiple drones on a European capital city. This could be London or Berlin or both.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
I am too. I can't imagine we'll get through another calendar year without that happening.
Yeah. And
that will be sad. And that's what I fear most about drones. There's a lot of damage you can do.
Right.
A chemical weapon attack on a school will be thwarted at the last minute. We might not even know about that if it happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
Economic predictions.
Okay.
An Italian banking crisis will cause chaos and many will lose their homes. Now, there's been a lot of trouble with Greece.
Right.
Now for Italy to have a issue would be a whole new level of terrible.
Right. There's more countries that are struggling out there all
Well,
the time,
yeah,
not
and
just
the
Greece.
euro is going to break up. You
Right.
know, we're seeing this euro, this Brexit. Euro will plummet. It would have to plummet if you had an issue with Italy,
Right.
and on the heels of Brexit. And towards the end of 2018 and into 2019, there will be riots as the steep economic decline takes hold. There's always riots when there's a steep, and a radical decline in economics. The UK and the USA will be hit by the weak euro, but their economies will bounce back quickly, and the pound and the dollar will be seen as safe havens for international money and investments. That's a surefire. If the previous one happens, the second one's going to happen. If the euro falls apart, the UK and the USA are really, in the end, going to profit from them. It'll be a little shock at first, but...
Yeah, plausible.
Okay, he predicts that Denmark and Italy will pull out of the euro, or the EU, and the euro will crash. I think he's exactly right.
Yeah, it wouldn't take too much, I don't think, for that to happen.
Okay, what about the good old USA?
All right.
They will attempt to impeach Donald Trump in 2018, but they will fail, and he will become more popular. I say you are spot on.
Well, they've been trying since he got elected.
That's true.
Seriously.
And really, they're not going to stop, but he is. Every attempt they make, he becomes more popular. And I believe that people on the polls, I spoke to a woman the other day who is a Democrat that kind of is sort of liking Trump, especially after the tax cuts. She said she received a poll call, and that when they asked her if she supported him, she said that's personal. People do not answer that question when it comes to Trump.
Interesting.
It's an anomaly. Trump will initiate a massive trade deal with the UK ahead of Brexit that will shake the EU. The deal will concern arms, high-tech services, and the motor industry.
Huh.
I mean, the UK needs to make that deal.
Yeah.
Now, in light of your Boeing situation, that's a little bit back to the art of the deal.
All right.
Okay? He goes in and he hits them and hurts them. With that, what's the tax called?
Tariff.
Yeah, it's a tariff, but they had actually dubbed it another name.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Anyway, so then you hurt them and you go in and you make a good deal and you get more of what you want.
Right.
The Mexico border wall will not be built. It will instead consist of drones and sensors.
That makes way more sense.
And I think much of it's going to be like that. I do think there will be a piece of it because he will just have to build a structure. Now, that may just finish that area out near the Rio Grande where they're just pouring in at times. And there's not much left to finish there. But I think as far as a physical wall goes, they will finish that. That will be it. And this guy's right. It will be drones and sensors.
I mean, what is the estimate? 18 billion, and he's asking for 4 more billion or something. So $22 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy because all you need is a $200 ladder. Seriously, cameras and drones and a team standing by to grab people as the cameras see them. That makes sense.
I do believe we have technology that can act as a wall.
There's no need for...
I believe that, a physical wall,
We need a virtual wall.
Right. We need a wall, but walls can be many things these days.
Yeah.
Right?
They should just call it a border.
Kind of like we don't wiretap people anymore.
Yeah.
But we do something similar,
Yeah, well, if you
Surveil.
If you go talk to Fusion GPS, they can write you a dossier, and the FBI will, listen in on you. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the U.S. will lose trade in the east as China and Russia form a military and economic alliance in response to the North Korean crisis and U.S. protectionism.
That's not good.
No, but I think that. Unfortunately, I think he's right. If we don't watch out for Russia, I think that's one reason why Trump is trying to keep Putin close, okay? Because we have got to play hardball with China
Right.
on the North Korea situation. They're our only hope,
Okay.
okay? They really are. Now, like I said, today they're going to quit buying some of our debt. So you already see things happening. They sit there and promised on tape that they would abide by the sanctions against North Korea. They didn't do it for one damn minute.
Right.
They got caught. Now they're not buying our debt. Well, our economy's doing well. All it's going to do is raise interest rates. Our interest rates are disturbingly low right now anyway. So it's okay.
Right.
I think we'll survive. Them, China and Russia uniting, not so much.
Yeah, I agree there.
Not a good thing. A U.S. warship will be sunk by a mine or terrorist operation. Well, after Operation Leonard, you could tell me anything about the damn Navy. I believe it. I just believe they have just lost it.
Yeah.
I do not have a lot of faith in the Navy, the FBI, and the DOJ right now.
Yeah, I agree there.
Oh my gosh. The dollar will take a tumble in February, but will recover. I don't know why it would take a tumble in February.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. There's no reason given.
This one's hilarious. Melania Trump and her husband's grandchildren will release a song to help raise funds for charity. Does she sing?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what that would sound like.
I wonder if he dreamt that, because that would probably be a very disturbing dream.
Yeah, I mean, just the thought in my mind's eye. It was kind of like, really?
Strange. Yeah.
No, and I remember We Are the World with Michael Jackson and friends. That was fabulous. Melania and Trump and grandchildren? I don't know.
Yeah, I questionable.
Now, this is kind of doesn't make sense when you think about, I don't know. The U.S. will rent nuclear weapons to Japan. Now, okay. Oh, they will rent them to Japan. Right. Okay, that would go along with
the missiles.
Earlier, the missiles, exactly. So, actually, this should have just been together. It would have made more sense. Okay. There will be a big fire in Las Vegas.
Okay.
That could happen at any time. Okay, UK predictions. There will be a hard Brexit, but pressed by Germany. Europe will relent at the last moment and allow a trade deal. And Jean-Claude Juncker will lose face and retire. Okay, I don't think we care that much about that.
Yeah, don't know much about it, but
I don't either. I mean, I don't know. And anything that happens like that could shake us up for a day or a week over here.
Yeah. True.
But as far as long-term economic issues,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. There will be many strikes encouraged on by Jeremy Corbyn, who will lose support from voters. Theresa May will stay in power. I'm not even so sure about that, but she's going to stay for the time being.
Okay.
The UK will thrive despite a world economic problems. The best thing that's going to ever happen to the UK is Brexit. It'll be one of those things that hindsight's 2020 and they go, hip, hip, hooray.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Many high-tech companies will move to Britain. Britain will lead the world in innovation and new form of energy production, which will be discovered in 2018. Britain's overdue for a biggie.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I would love it if Britain kind of found a new energy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what it could be.
Okay, this guy wrote this back in, I believe it's October, November. Prince Harry will announce his engagement. That's already happened.
Bing. Yeah,
you got that right. Okay, a new political party will be formed in the UK. There will be another terrorist attack on a British motorway in which a gunman shoots people held up by a deliberate traffic accident.
That's happened in the States before, right? Washington or something?
There was something similar to that.
So I remember seeing a documentary on that years ago, and I do remember it.
It was not an ISIS thing. It was
just a loony.
A homegrown loony. Yeah, you're right.
Homegrown loony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I would like to bring up, that's all of the predictions, but Trump is going to go to Davos. Davos is it's a summit for the globalists around the world. and the millionaires and the billionaires. It's in the Swiss Alps. Now, we know that Trump is not a globalist. He is a nationalist.
Right.
Not to be confused with some neo-Nazi thing. A nationalist believes that the home team comes first.
Right.
And then the others. So I saw a guy on the Business Channel today, Pete Hegseth, and he shared he was so happy that the president was going to the Swiss Alps, but he didn't want him to swim with the others. He just wanted them to pee in their pool. So I had to
that's funny.
that because that's an awesome thought.
Yes, that is pretty funny,
For
actually.
all of us that believe the home team comes first, that's my kind of talk.
Yeah, that is good. Have to agree there.
Yeah, and we don't always agree, but life's a journey and we're all in this together. Remember, do not become anyone's victim. Hashtag nobody's victim. Thanks for listening. Godspeed, Connor, and Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening.
Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the rightleftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. GMA's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins.